It is so important, especially now, so important that we remember who we truly are and our creation power and our magic fairy dust that we can sprinkle in every moment. In this video, I really feel like I want to share one of my stories of my life journey. And this story really shows how much magic there is in life when we surrender in the moment. I think there is a lot of magic that can happen when in some moments when it's not flowing what you created in your head. And then are you able to let go and go in a different direction? Come back to the heart and, okay, this is not flowing. Show me now what to do. Then there is so much that's possible. And then there is so much magic that's waiting for us. There is a lot happening in this world. So when we look into the physical realm, it's not always clear in this moment that the light and the magic and the love is here. And we really have to do it together now to bring ourselves back into this vibration of love all the time and really understand that everything that's happening now, it's part of the bigger picture. It's part of what needs to happen to really come back to a new earth frequency that you and I are creating from our hearts. I have so many stories in this journey of awakening and really learning about a new reality in life, learning about myself and learning that, wow, if I do things differently, then wow, what happens? New doors open. It's expanding and you start opening yourself for more. And when you are watching this, you are probably in this journey too. To let you know that you are not alone. And it is real. You are not crazy. This is reality. For a long time, I was thinking I was crazy. I was different. I was an alien too. Never fitted in the system how we created it in this world. And yeah, a long time in my life, I was spending a lot of energy and time to change myself and try to fit in. I don't know if you recognize that. You are your unique self with your unique colors and with your different ways and with your not able to fit in, because you are here to bring a change. You are here to show the world around you that there is a different way, and all people that don't feel comfortable in the system how it is, or don't feel comfortable in their lives, but they have no idea how to take a step, and that there is so much more. And that's why you and I are here, to really remind and be an example for the world around us by just being you and taking care of you and your unique needs without trying to change them for the world. So this was an important message that needed to be shared as well. So the story that I was sharing yesterday with my friends here, it's just a magical story. It's a magical story that really shows the magic and our creation power when we dare to truly come from trust and from our hearts. And sometimes something needs to happen that's a little bit like, hurting for us to be able to take this road. So I was cycling through the Netherlands for a while. It was after I came back from my travels, and I was in the Netherlands, and it was during the period of the COVID, so when the lockdown started and when there was a lot of fear coming up. So I was even doubting, like, is this a good idea to cycle now? But then I felt in my heart, yeah, I have to do this. It was a magical journey, but the story that I'm going to share now was one part of this journey. And I was in a connection with a beautiful man when I was in the Netherlands. And we tried to work it out, like what was happening between us. And there was a moment that I was supposed to move with him. For some reason, I'm have a pattern in my life that I attracted men who were emotionally not available. And this was something that I needed to learn from. And this was the case again. So I was there one day living with him, and then he brought me back. So it was like, okay, a really interesting situation. And after grieving, I was like, okay, what to do? I'm going to cycle to the Netherlands. And the funny part is that while I was cycling, I got this brilliant idea again. Oh, I'm going to surprise him. I'm going to cycle to where he is at the coast, from the south of the Netherlands to the coast. And then I'm going to surprise him. So I had this goal. I'm going to cycle. And you know, my sign Taurus is a really romantic sign. So I have these romantic ideas, but not always. I'm a really romantic person. But I'm learning now to really use these romantic powers for people who are really open to receive, and people who are really treating me in a way that I'm worthy as well. But yeah, this was still like part of the pattern, part of my life experience, part of something to grow from. So I was cycling towards him, and I was already cycling for a couple of days. And then it was only one more day of cycling. So I got up in the morning and I felt, maybe I should send him a message and not just arrive there. That was actually my idea, to just arrive there like, I'm here. So I sent him a message like, hey, I'm cycling and I'm coming to you. And I got a really cold message back that was just like, I don't have time, like nothing else. And it hit me so hard. And then I realized, what the fuck am I actually doing? Why am I doing this even? So I was in this moment, in this feeling of my goal disappeared. So I was like, okay, now I'm here with my bicycle somewhere. What to do now? Am I going to cycle back to the south, to home? Yeah, what am I going to do? And I didn't know. And I was also grieving because it was another part of shedding this old pattern and really learning, like, I have to let go of him. Then I got an idea. You know what? I'm just going to cycle from my feelings. So not looking at Google Maps, not looking at any of the directions, but really I set the intention also from this emotion, like I just want to cycle. I don't care where I'm going. So I'm just going to really feel in every turn. Yeah, am I feeling left or right or straight? So I was doing that. The whole day I was cycling in this way. At one point I suddenly was in Belgium. I was like, hey, the people here, they speak different. But I didn't know where I was on the map. With my heart knew, but my mind didn't know. And I was completely surrendering and having this practice the whole day. Every time there was a road turn, feeling, okay. At the end of the day, when it became dark, I was cycling with a sleeping bag. I was also sleeping a lot in the forest. So at the end of the day, it became a little bit darker and I felt, okay, it's time to soon find a place where I can rest. Sometimes I was staying in people's houses if they invited me, or when I passed by a friend, or also just, in nature. So that was a really good experience too. I will share another video about that, what I learned from just sleeping with a sleeping bag under a tree in the forest. I did that here in the Netherlands, but also in other countries in the world. But that's for another video. But this, okay, I was feeling I need to find a place to rest, and I was still kind of cycling, like from my feeling. And at one point there was this little road that was just going into the middle of nowhere, kind of. But I felt, my head was like, no, maybe it's better to stay on the, the bigger places. But I felt, no, I need to follow this road. So I just did that. And of course, I have these voices as well that then start to have fear, like, oh, but it's getting dark and where I'm going to end up and what's going to happen. But I knew, even if I just sleep again in my sleeping bag outside, I'm safe because I really trust my intuition. And that's because I practiced a lot during my years of traveling. It was not always like that. I came from a lot of fear, but by really stepping out of my comfort zone and experiencing this again and again and again, I really grow this trust within myself and with my feeling and my intuition. So I cycled through this road, and suddenly there was a gate somewhere on the side, and I was like, what is this place? And it really attracted me, so I felt I need to go in this gate. So I went in, and I was like, wow. And I felt it's a really magical energy in this place, so it was really inviting me in. And then I was like walking with my bicycle and looking around and like, wow, where am I? And then there was a woman sitting on a bench, and she looked a bit surprised, like, huh, that I came. So I was like, hey, where am I? What is this place? And then this woman was like, yeah, this is a campsite, but it's kind of like a retreat campsite. So there are lots of events and workshops here. But are you coming for the retreat? She asked. And I was like, retreat? No, I'm just cycling. And I was just cycling from my feeling. And then I end up here. And then she was like, wow, but that's really because we have a retreat that's starting in half an hour. And I just got a phone call of a woman who canceled. And she canceled like half an hour before this retreat would start. Okay, there was a 3-day retreat starting. I just cycled up there half an hour before it started. I get goosebumps now. I'm like sharing this. And yeah, it was a funny situation. So she was like, wow, but this feels like meant to be. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, what kind of retreat is it? And then she said, the retreat is called Coming Home to Yourself. And I started crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was really following this man and like literally cycling for days to this man that was not emotionally available. And that was treating me like shit. Like, okay, because of course I got this reaction that I was not welcome. Yeah, and then I start following my feeling in my heart, and life brings me to a retreat, Coming Home to Yourself. And I had a little worry because I didn't have money. That's also another video. I lived 1.5 years without using money. And I walked through Norway, a pilgrim's route, without having money. So I have so many really interesting stories. But yeah, so she told me, you need to go to the person who is organized or leading the workshop, because I think he would love this. So I walked up to him and I was like, yeah, I just suddenly came here and I don't know. So he was like, yeah, what do you feel? I was like, yeah, I don't know. I had to decide in 15 minutes if I was going to commit to a 3-day retreat. And then my head can have a lot of ideas like, but maybe I want to cycle to the coast. Maybe this, maybe that. But of course, I was there in that moment. And I was like, and everything was just, and then I told him, yeah, I'm a little worrying because of course retreats cost money and I don't have money for a whole retreat in this moment. So he also was feeling into, but we both felt this is such a special moment and this is so meant to be. So he said, you know, if you just pay me the money that you have and if that's enough for the food, because food and everything was there for me, because the woman who would come, they had everything for her. So it was like everything was there for me. And this is when life is showing you are on the right path. It's going to go easy and everything is there that you need. And then I was like, oh, but I don't have a tent. I only have my sleeping bag. And then he was like, yeah, I'm sleeping in this little house. There is a couch, so you can just sleep there. So everything was arranged. I only had to say yes and trust and jump into the unknown. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So then I spent 3 days in this retreat. I met amazing people and really, really had this family feeling while I was in this grief, and this like man who, yeah, couldn't receive me as a woman in that moment, me with my energy. And then I arrived in this family in a retreat that was called Coming Home to Yourself. And we were guided in workshop, and it was a retreat from Muji. I didn't know him in that moment. And I have to be honest that not everything resonates with me, but I got a lot of wisdom out of that from being there. But especially to have this connection with my soul family and just having this sense of home just by being with those beautiful people and really connecting with them in deeper ways and having cuddle puddles, and it was exactly what I needed and what I was actually looking for while I was cycling to this man. But I just put it on him, and then life brought me to a whole group where I received so much true love unconditionally. Yeah, that was so beautiful. So that's the magic that's here all the time. And it's not that I'm special. It is that I'm really good in surrendering in moments sometimes. But this is all here for you as well. So I felt sharing this story to inspire you and to really remind us and also myself, because it's good to tap in. I have so many of these stories, but I'm not really using them a lot or like sharing them a lot, only when people ask me about something. And then I ended up like my journey went in such a different way, because after the retreat, people were going home. And then we ended up like in the camper van of the two Belgian guys who were traveling to Germany to go to a rainbow gathering. And then they were like, Malou, you really have to come with us. And again, my mind was like, but didn't I want to cycle to the coast now here? But then it was like, no, but this is such a beautiful family, and it comes to me and it really feels, part of me is like, do I really want to go on my own again or just stick with family and go together? So I choose the last one, and then I was like, but my bicycle. And then they were like, we just gonna put it in the camper van. So I went in with my bicycle in the camper van, and we traveled, and we had such a beautiful journey. We were camping and visiting lakes and just really connecting with each other. So it was so beautiful. And this is life, this is really welcoming ourselves and allowing ourselves to experience the magic and experience this true joy, and to really say yes to the surprises that life sometimes have to offer. And by watching this video, you already received the activation. So I know for sure that some things will happen in your life now, the upcoming days, weeks, that are reminding you of this video that you watch, and that really inspire you to make a different choice that you maybe usually wouldn't do, and then experience something magical, something that you could never have thought with your head. So I love to hear how this resonates with you. I love to hear if you experience these moments in your life. So let's share that here in the comments, so we can truly inspire each other to tap into the magic and the joy, because this is where we are going to with the whole world. And this is what is so important, especially now, so important that we remember who we truly are and our creation power and our magic fairy dust that we can sprinkle in every moment. So I also love to hear after you watch this video and magical things happen in your life, and you notice that you took a different decision now because you watched this. Please share this with me in an email on this email address or in the comments. And I'm here if you need more support, or if you just want to connect with me, so feel welcome to send me a message. We are walking this together. And there are different ways how I can support you with some gifts that I got here in this live to share, with sound healing sessions and light language activations. And I also have a beautiful women coaching group that we have a call every Wednesday to really, really support each other in this journey to come back to this true feminine magical energy again. And if you are a man that's watching, but you feel, I really wish more support in my life to remind me of this more often and to really activate this energy in me, I also really happy to give one-on-one coaching sessions. And there are different options available. So just connect with me and we can have a first call, because we are walking this together. And especially now, it's so important that we come together more and more. when we gonna see more separation in the world, but it's not the truth, it's not the reality. You can choose which reality do you want to be in, and we have this choice in every moment, but we need to have support from each other, because it's so much more difficult if we have to do this all by ourselves every day to bring us back in this vibration. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for walking your path so brave. And I wish you all the magic that you are. And I wish you all the joy that you are here to experience. And I wish you all the abundance that you are here to receive in this beautiful life.